Hello from the Hashknife. Well, we've done this before. We're going to show it again. And that's finishing beef for our customers. We've got 12 head this year. We've got most of our reservations in. We sent out confirmation letters and we've gotten most of those back. We have a couple more days before people are kind of like, to an extent, cut off. We'll remind them one final time, say, hey, are you sure you don't want beef? And if then we get the confirmation or we're ignored, then we'll move on to those who are professing interest, and we'll give them a welcome letter and let them look at what we got for products. We've got, I think, 4 open head right now for claiming, but today's the day where they come back home. They're on the neighbor's lease, which is just literally bordering the ranch, and we're just going to move them across the pastures, but they need water and water. So I'm just gonna make sure all these gates are set up, open that one to the pasture so that they can move into that pasture and then slowly work their way into this water, and then we'll be set. The gate shall be opened. I got cake, 4-wheelers ready. Hopefully I'm just enticing today and I'm not gonna be actually hurting. I'm gonna cross my fingers and say this is gonna take 5 minutes. Let's go. You're probably going, dude, what's the plan? All right, I got you. So that pasture right there, that's the North 40. That has been blocked off from the horses because the stud and the mares have been going between this little 15, 20 acres and back over to this North 40. We need the calves, or the steers, I guess they're yearlings now, a year and a half. We need the steers to go from over here to over there. The neighbor's place is just over this hill. I'll show you at the top. So essentially I'm going across a couple pastures. The problem is that's the most direct route to the pasture we need them to go to, but that doesn't show them the water, and they're yearlings and they're pretty much unintelligent beings at any given point because they're yearlings. So I have to bring them through what we call the wedge. Hopefully we can kind of get a straight shot here. I got the gate open so they'll just come through, and I'll go through a couple gates actually to get them to water. But the wedge, if we can get them in the wedge, that at least funnels them back towards the water point, and then we can kind of figure it out from there. But yeah, I would love to just send them straight out to that pasture out there where we usually kick out the mamas and calves once they're done calving, but I need them to know where water's at. And yearlings are yearlings. So that's the plan. There's the boys. So yeah, they're in that neighbor's pasture, and we're just gonna get them to come over here, hopefully easily come up and through that gate and head back. I could easily just make them go through this little gate and do a button hook around and come back into here, but the problem is there's horses there, and that creates the issue. I don't need to be getting horses and babies and steers all mixed up. That's just gonna cause a bunch of mayhem. So yeah, we'll just entice them down with grain and bring them back. I had to walk out here, and you can see right there at the bottom of the screen I added a little bit of cake to the ground. Starting to get them moved. There you go. Come on, guys. We'll see if this will start training them for when they go to feed, too. You'll see that white bucket. Come on. Release some pressure so that they don't feel crowded. Come on. Grab that stuff on the ground. There you go. Oh, we're just going to walk past it. Okay. You want to see it? Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, that's the stuff. That's the stuff. Oh, now we're starting to move. Yeah. Get a couple of them. Oh, there we go. We're picking up speed. Get a couple to move. Oh. Oh, did your mom teach you that there's a dinner bucket? I think that's 73. I think your mom's pretty affectionate to the white bucket, if I believe. Come on, guys. Yep, I got you all stuck on one spot. Now you gotta come to me. I got the rest of it. Yeah. That was pretty good, wasn't it? All right, come on. Plan B is where we're at. I could be ignorant and just be like, they're dumb. They don't understand. They're stupid. They can't figure it out. Well, still gotta remember, like, they were weaned last fall. They're over my shoulder there. They were weaned last fall. And, you know, about 2 months off mom. And then we returned them and integrated them back into the herd in January, and essentially every time the cows came in with the cake, they just followed the herd. They're not really understanding the cause and effect there. They will when they start getting fed out. So they saw that there was grain on the ground and that I came up there with a white bucket, but they're not necessarily making the connection yet. So I'm just gonna set this bucket here. I'm just gonna try and gently push them down the fence line here to this open gate. I'm moving down the fence line here, and hopefully that helps. I'll just, like I said, nice and easy and gentle, no ramming and jamming. Yeah, I'd love to say they're stupid and cuss them out, but they just don't understand. They're not figuring out the cause and effect yet, that's all. So I'm gonna take this bucket and maybe teach them a little, send it out here. Hopefully that'll kind of get that connection going. We'll see. Making sure that gate's open the correct way and not stopping their progress. I'm just gonna loop wide around and push them along the fence line. I don't want to go straight at them because that's gonna bust them up. They're all grouped together pretty good. I'm just gonna kind of parallel them, go around, and then come in from behind. Okay, I've looped around. I'm just gonna slowly push them. Come on, kids. Hip. Come on. Hip, 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 hip. Go on. Go on. There we go. Come on. Hip. Hip, 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 hip. Go on. I'm gonna have to get off here. Come on. Go ahead. Hip. Get them in the right direction here. Come on. There you go. There you go. Go ahead. Follow the fence line. Come on. Hip, 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 hip. Go ahead. Go ahead. You're good. Go ahead. Ha, 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 ha. Get going. Come on. Yep. There you go. Yep. Yep. There. All right. I got them started. Now I'm kind of slowing down because I had to get a little flaily with my arms to get them to move forward. And then once I started, I needed to kind of slow it down. So notice I'm backed off. I'm not creating a lot of pressure on them. And they see that bucket, so I cleared the gate. And we might have to leapfrog this. This might give me an idea. I might need to leapfrog. Leapfrog. Okay, I got them started, so they don't want to go to the bucket, so we're just gonna have to stick with plan B. Come on, kids. I'm gonna use this fence line because they want to go towards it, so I'm just gonna use that to herd them back to that gate. Come on, hip, 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 hip. Hip, 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 hip. There you go. I'll have to come around. Come on, kids. Hip, 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 hip. Go on. Ah, there you go. Nice and easy, nice and easy. There. There you go. There we go. Come on. Hip, 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 hip. There you go. Come on. Everybody's got green grass. Everybody's got green grass. But this is the best green grass. This one's even better. No. Hip, 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 hip. There we go. See, when it's really good green grass, I gotta stop here. I gotta get the best stuff. Come on. Come on. These are the bumblebees. These are what I call the bumblebees. They're always a yearling. They're always just kind of all over. They're hard to keep together. The bumblebees. Come on, kids. Join the group. Come on. Hip, hip, hip. Join the group. Go on. There we go. Follow it up. Good kids. Good kids. Good kids. I could kick them into the pasture right here, but then it makes it harder to get them back to water because they'll go to a bigger opening. So I'm just going to try and get them up here to this gate. Come on. Hip, 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 hip. And I'm actually going to probably... Oh, nope, I can get the four-wheeler. There we go. Hold on. Come on, kids. There we go. That worked. I was going to have to keep some pressure on them. There we go. And I'm going to probably have to swing wide to the right to push them into that opening so they don't overshoot it. Like yonder. Yep, see how I'm going out. There we go, kids. Come on, find that opening. There you go. There you go. Find that opening. Get ahead of them. Kick them in. There we go. There you go. There you go. Good kids. Good kids. Yep. There you go. Stay off. A little pressure, not too much. I don't want to bust them out of there because then I have one or two squirters that I'm going to have to chase. There you go. Good kids, good kids. There we go. And move. Come on. Through the gate. Through the gate. Come on. Hip, hip, hip. Hip, hip, hip. Good kids. Get past my gate for me. Thank you. And I'm going to close that. You guys keep heading that direction. That's where water's at. Take this gate out. Okay, use the same techniques for like 4 gates, but we finally got here. Sorry, couldn't film those. I'm a one-man wrecking crew right now. So, okay. They are now at water. That's what I needed. Now, I got to make sure, because they went around a pile, I got a good head count. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's the right number. Let me make sure I got that again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That was a better layout. Okay, so we're good. They got water here, water there, and an open gate. All I have to do is close this and go get my abandoned grain bucket, and we're set. And now to let the horses out so that they can have both pastures again. And there we go, nice and open. Make sure these bales are not out here. We purposely did not staple them so that we wouldn't get horses' feet caught here. There we go. Keep that as clear as possible for them, and here they come. I gotta skate before they come in here. Woohoo! And back to the bucket. I got you back, buddy. You're not alone. Wow, isn't that beautiful? Okay, now that I have my trusty sidekick back today, a couple things on that, a couple lessons. Obviously, use the ATV. We've talked about using the ATV. We call it a four-wheeler, but most of the rest of the world, I guess, calls it an ATV. Talked about using that instead of horses. Why did I use the ATV today? It's because the horses weren't readily available. I still have to go work tonight, and I need to get this done quickly. The reason why we're moving them is, frankly, it's just time. The grass isn't super low, but it is getting there on the neighbor's place, and he's been starting to have issues because, well, grass is low. So then the cows start kind of pushing on the fence a little more, reaching a little further over the fence. So hey, just pull them over. Well, then why don't you just open the gates and let them hang out there? Valid question. I need them to know where water is, because otherwise they're going to keep going back to where they know water's at. So that was kind of the main stressor of pushing them and getting them there. And keep in mind, first plan was enticing. I wanted to use the easy method and have them just follow me. That would have been super quick. It didn't take 5 minutes like we thought or hoped it would, but it was still pretty uneventful, thankfully. Came up to plan C, which was maybe do the leapfrog method. That didn't work either once we got into this pasture, because they saw, oh, it's new green grass. So then they wanted to get the newest clumps. So then I had to go back to the old school herding method using the four-wheeled horse. If you notice their behavior, they followed the low ground all the way up. Okay, I'll just use that to my advantage. I knew where it'd take them. It'd take them to that corner. I showed why I wasn't just going to send them straight out there. Again, focus is on water. So I used the fence line to push them back up to that little gate that was open, that was prepped in the first place. You want to have it ready, because the last thing you want to do is be trying to figure that out and finagle that while the herd's moving. You lose momentum and you have to regain it and all that. Notice my behavior too. I went out and wide, so it kept them from busting away from the gate. I went out and wide, and then I kind of cut them off a little bit so it stopped them at the gate and they didn't like bolt forward and miss it. Tried not to push too much. They're yearlings, so they're always going to be ready to take off anyway. So minimizing that by just, hey, if they're 100 yards out but they're still moving, leave them at 100 yards out. If they're 50 yards out, if they're 20 yards out. If you need to entice them, just kind of maybe throw up your hands like, hey, come on, hip, hip. And that's all you got to do. And once they start moving, you're good. I had to do a little bit of a bumblebee effect over here to start them, because usually starting a herd is much more difficult because they all want to either spread out or go different. So you're trying to kind of hone them in, and once you finally get them in a direction and lined out, that's exactly what happened. Was they went straight to that corner. I started filming when they were almost there already, because again, bumblebees, they just took off. So then we got to the rest of the little portion there, and I had to take my hands off the camera and get them through the gates and focus wholly on that. They kept trying to go down to the low spot, so I had to bring them back up the wedge. And again, trying to control them in the wedge is much easier because it's a constricted area versus way out there where it's, I mean, that's like, I think it's half a section out there. Trying to do all that, it definitely makes it easier to do it in the constricted area. So Then once I got them into water, they knew exactly where water was. They went to it. You could see they needed to water up anyway because it was starting to get warm today, which is also a benefit. Try and do it early in the day. Much easier on everybody, especially the animals. But yeah, that's us moving the butcher beef, and now our butcher beef season begins. So like I said earlier, we have most of our beef reserved now. We had 12 head. We didn't usually actually eat our own beef because we just couldn't afford it. And when we started doing custom sales to people, we're like, well, it's not that much more to just do ours now. So now that we're doing some custom sales, we get to have our own beef, which is really nice. So one of those, the little bull, the one that we found out his band for when he gets castrated, when he's a calf, it either busted or something happened and it was, it got torn off, something. But he's a bull, so we're gonna actually eat him ourselves. The rest are all steers, and then we have, I think, 4 openings this year. People have already expressed interest. So once the opening is closed, or the window is closed for those to claim that they want a return beef from last year, then we'll open it up to those. So we already got a waiting list, thankfully, and also I'm starting to make that website so that people can start seeing some of our products, which is awesome. Other than that, pretty uneventful day. Start to the beef season. Oh, it's gonna be another long feed out process. So join us for the rest of the year, and thanks until you're better paid.